The mountain village was known for its harsh winters and harsher traditions. People there believed strength was everything, and kindness was often mistaken for weakness. Among them lived a quiet mountain man named Armand. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and carried the silence of the mountains within him. He lived alone in a small wooden cabin high above the village, where the wind howled like a restless spirit. Armand rarely came down to the village, but when he did, people whispered. Some called him strange. Others called him cursed. The truth was, he simply preferred the honesty of nature over the cruelty of people. One cold morning, word spread that a rejected bride was being offered away. In that village, when a bride was rejected by her groom, she was seen as worthless. Her face was covered with a sack, her identity hidden, her dignity stripped. No one wanted her. No one cared. Armand had come to the village that day to trade furs and supplies. He noticed the small figure standing near the well, her head covered with a rough sack. She stood completely still, like she had already accepted her fate. The villagers laughed. "Take her if you want," one man joked. "She's useless." Armand said nothing for a long moment. He looked at her trembling hands. He saw not uselessness, but pain. Quietly, he stepped forward and placed his sack of coins on the wooden table. "I'll take her," he said. The laughter stopped. They handed her over like an unwanted object. She didn't resist. She didn't speak. She simply followed him. The journey up the mountain was long. Snow crunched beneath their feet. The wind blew fiercely, but she kept walking. Armand noticed her strength. She never complained. When they reached his cabin, he opened the door and gestured for her to enter. She stepped inside slowly. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then, with gentle hands, Armand reached up and untied the sack covering her head. As he lifted it away, he gasped. Her face was not ugly. It was not cursed. It was breathtaking. Her eyes were deep and filled with quiet sadness, but they shone with a strength he had never seen before. There was a scar across her cheek, but it only made her look more real, more human. She was beautiful in a way the villagers could never understand. She looked at him afraid. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I know I am not what they wanted." Armand felt something shift in his chest. "They were blind," he replied softly. She blinked, surprised. Days passed, and slowly she began to smile. She helped him gather wood, cook meals, and care for the cabin. She spoke little, but her presence filled the empty spaces. Armand realized she was not broken. She was stronger than anyone he had ever known. One evening, as they sat by the fire, she laughed quietly at something small. The sound was warm and alive. In that moment, Armand understood something simple and powerful. He had not bought a rejected bride. He had been given a soul,